Well guys, 6R tractor. So this is the tool number that calls for in the service manual, this KJD 10643, and the dealer was so kind enough to let me borrow it, but the problem is it does not fit. I mean, that should go down there and it don't fit. Is there set screws or something and that piece comes off? I cannot tell. I need a light to shine down in that hole. Is there a roll pin in there or something? And you knock that out of there and it's for a different, maybe there's a end for a different tractor on there that somebody stuck on there when they used it at the dealer and then they put the wrong end back on the tool. I'm not sure. Maybe there's several different model numbers with different IDs on these and somebody stuck the wrong one back on here or something. I mean, it's got a roll pin in it, so it appears to me this piece comes off. Do I just make my own, or do I just take that piece off and what do we do here? To me, that's almost like that's, see how they've got rounded edges? I think you'd want, you want the, to me you want the squared edges in there. I don't know, them rounded edges. Now, I hate to do this one, get this pin out, and we'll try it that way, I guess. I don't know, that ain't gonna work. Well, I knocked the roll pin. There's a roll pin on each side that holds this, as opposed to this, yeah, it holds it to this shaft. And I tried to slide that. I was tapping on this, and it wasn't moving, and I thought, well, I don't want to be screwing their tool up. So, I think I can make one. I've got a template. Yeah, I can actually lay that down on a piece of plate and draw that out. Just trace it and then cut it out with the torch or the plasma cutter. I mean, this side here's beveled. To me, you'd almost want the squared end on there though, but there's no way you'd put these together from this way. It's almost like this piece is on there upside down. I don't know, I'll have to, yeah, it's almost like this part of the tool is wrong. Like there's these, I don't know if you change these out or what you do with these, or is it machined as one piece? I don't know for certain, but definitely that ain't gonna work. It's just a skosh too damn big. It's just not something I'm doing wrong, is it? No, it's just a little bit too big. Damn it. Well, I've got what I'm gonna do here. I mean, I ain't too worried about that fitting perfectly in there. I've got a piece of this. Let's see if I can get something a little bit closer than that. I'll go looking around here. And I don't need that 1/2 inch square. I can just weld a nut on there. But yeah, I just need a piece of tubing, piece of pipe that would fit down in here fairly snug. And then I can just cut my plate out to fit this, so I'll figure it out. Well, I know it doesn't look like much, but so I got a piece of solid shafting here, welded a 3/4 inch nut on top, took a piece of 3/4 inch plate and cut it out. A lot of grinding and finagling to get it to where it fit right in there. Gloves on, it's still hot. And then the problem was I had all kinds of wrist pins. I was trying to find something that fit snug in there, you know, and had to sacrifice 1.5 inch, 3/4 inch drive Pittsburgh socket. But you know what? Look at that. That is gonna work slicker than shit, I think. So that's usually what I do. I gotta trim this one legs a little bit longer because that was on the end of the plate and I just cut it at the end of the plate, but I'll have to trim this one here. Where's my soapstone at so I can mark that one? And I'll pull it off and take the torch and just notch it off there a little bit and clean it up. Because I think once I get it on there, it's actually, this one here probably needs to be trimmed a little bit too. Because I think it actually recesses back into the hole. So you got to have clearance on that when you're screwing that in, if I remember correctly. Because I think it recesses back in here. Pretty certain it does. So those legs sticking out ain't gonna work. So the tricky part was getting this socket centered. I stuck it down on there. I flipped this upside down. I had this in the vise with this end down, and then I slid this over the top of it upside down, slid the socket through the center. I actually took some paint and put it on the socket and stuck it down on there to kind of mark it, and I got it close and I tacked it, and it was just a little off, and I had to break my tack a couple times, and I finally got it to where it was just perfect on there. But yeah, should work like a top. I think I might need to trim just a little bit on this one. It's not quite sitting down in there. All the rest of them are sitting all the way down against the bottom. This one right here is not quite sitting down against the bottom all the way, and that would get that one clear down. But I'm just gonna let her sit here for a little while and cool down. But I'm gonna start going through the parts I got out for this and start putting up all the welding leads and everything else and get all that stuff put up and start putting this thing back together. Dark in here now. I shut that door. The wind's coming out the south now. I mean, it's blowing like a son of a gun out there. I got sick of it. Sacrifice the light for a little bit of peace. Put this diff lock back together. Okay, it's drive hub. Oh, a lot of work to put this one back together. Okay. Josie's rooting around over there. Well, I built that, and I might build me another tool to pick this rear end up and put it in there. You know what? I'm getting to where if I can build a tool or buy one or whatever, that's what I'm gonna do. My body, the years of doing things and being in a hurry is probably taking its toll on me. So it's now time to get smart, and if they don't like the bill, you know, from taking too long, it is what it is. I gotta do this for a lot more years, you know, so I gotta look out for myself. Okay. Looks pretty damn good. So I actually followed the directions and I went and stuck the ring gear in the oven for about a half an hour at 300 degrees. And it slid right on there. So we're putting this oil deflector plastic pile of shit on here now. It's all riveted together. Let's go like that. Right there. What is your fucking problem? Get in there, you son of a bitch. Just like so, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I like it. Oh, yeah. Individually packaged, nice. Nice. Okay, so why are you not, I don't know if I got the right size here or not on this. Let me see here, am I all screwed up here? Probably should have just got some rivets instead of getting these from John Deere. Yeah, I think I need to get this one on there. I got the wrong size adapter on there. Park control block, okay, that was screwed up. I got a whole new housing here. This is out of park. That's in, wait. That's in park. Okay, so I'm gonna take it out of park for now. This is gonna be in park because it's spring loaded. So we gotta find a couple bolts here. I'm trying to remember. Okay, these are. I'm gonna use the hex-headed ones just to kind of temporarily hold the gasket in place when we slide it on there. And the one I just put in there slid right back out on me. There we go. Get on there. Okay. Bolts and bolts and lots of bolts. Darn it. Got one. Fell off here. Okay, all these are gonna go in here. Now all these get torqued to 8 foot-pounds. Should be 96 inch-pounds. And the hex-headed one, that's gonna have to go out there or here. Actually, all these hex ones go right here. And then what we'll have to do is pull this back and then tie it off to where it's out of park when we go back in with the transmission. Or you'll never get it in there with that park pawl engaged. Okay, so what I can do is run this one up. I'm trying to remember where this one here comes from, this Allen. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I think it might have been something I tore apart when I tore that thing apart. Because I tore that park control block apart. Yeah. I just need to run these up. It says don't tighten them in the book until you're ready to, you know, go. Now on this here, it makes sense there. Why am I missing a couple long bolts? And these two short ones would have been on the other plate. I understand that, but I'm missing a couple of the long Torx. Oh no, they're in the, here they are. They're in this other plate. I just, too much shit torn apart. Oh, and that's where that Allen come from right there. I took this plate off the other one, and that Allen held that plate on, so everything's accounted for here. But this will come back, and you got to get this little link. And then take this, put it in park. Damn it, if you can do it. It's kind of a pain. I should have brought a screwdriver or something with me. Smaller punch. Get in there to twist a little eye in it. Get it straight. Okay. That should be in park right there. Now you got to get this lined up with that somehow. That doesn't seem like that's going to be very easy to do. Spring-loaded shit, you know. Makes things difficult on a guy. Okay, so how the hell are we going to get that to go in there? Well, guys, had to make a few, or well, cobble some tools together. You know, I made the side bearing adjuster, and then now I thought, you know, I used to just manhandle these and roll them in there, and I'd get a bar underneath them and then get one of the side bearings lined up on them. But with this plastic stuff on there, this shielding, it makes it really, really hard to do that. So I scabbed all this stuff together with some scrap iron laying around. I was trying to go as narrow as possible with the material, just for this whole fact of room to maneuver in there. So we'll see how this works out. Basically, it's just some angle iron there, and I wanted to stiffen this up, but I was thinking about putting a diagonal brace right here. I'm still thinking about doing that, actually. I might actually get a hold of that with the crane again and lift it up a little bit and then put a diagonal right here. I'm not really... I mean, it really isn't bending this, I guess. And the weld's holding on there. Maybe it'll be okay. When I first did it, man, it just really sagged this thing and was just bending this angle iron right over. So this is an old, I think this is an old Nodder needle. That's what it kind of looks like, something like that. But anyway, I might just try to stick it in there and trying to make a decision right now whether I want to put a diagonal there or not. I think it'll be all right. I'm gonna roll it in there and see if I can get it stabbed in there. See if this works out. Well, that's a heck of a lot better than manhandling that heavy son of a gun, I'll tell you that. She ain't perfect, but you know what? At least a guy can work with that, and it kind of helps hold it. And now I got to put the side bearings in it, and and we'll go that route next. Well, my special tool here, the built for the putting the rear end, actually worked out pretty damn good for a bunch of scab together stuff. I just cut a notch in it right here, and then I had to where my lift and I wouldn't go clear around this. I just notched it here, and I had to put a piece of here. It was bending this, and it's just not quite heavy enough, but it worked out pretty good. That rear end's a lot heavier than what you think it is. It was, you know, I put this brace on here. I need to put a little brace right here is what I need to do. A diagonal right here, and then it'll be pretty damn good. But shit, that worked out slicker than dog shit there. So we got our bearing quill started. So what you're supposed to do here, according to the service manual, is take this right side bearing quill. I should probably get a light, huh? Hang on, let me get a light. Alright. You're supposed to take this bearing quill here and screw this in till this material's flush. Pretty much where your little points on your tool are, they go flush with the I can see that slipping off and hitting me right smack in the head. Let's get over here maybe. That way it can hit me in the balls. Really pretty close. Well, that old tool I made's pretty heavy. Could probably go just a little bit more. Yeah, let me go a little bit more. Okay. No, it still needs to go. I'd say that's pretty damn close there to flush, okay? On the other side, they want you to torque the left bearing quill to 60 foot-pounds. Alright. Let me get shit set up here. Then I gotta set the rolling drag. That damn tool I made there, now that one there really worked out nice. Both of them actually did. It didn't take long to make either one of them, really. 60 foot-pounds. Let me get a torque wrench. This torque wrench is not even going to let me do it because it says replace battery. Let me go find some batteries. Piece of shit. Alright, so we got 60 foot-pounds on this one. And there's 60 foot-pounds. Now I gotta set the rolling drag on it. Yeah, backlash is supposed to be 6 to 14 thousandths, and I got like 5. So in order to save your rolling drag torque, which is 1.84 foot-pounds, which I'm pretty close on that. You'll see a 1/2 inch square, and there's stick an extension in there and an inch-pound torque wrench. Figure out what that is. It's like 20 inch-pounds or something, if I remember right. And then it rolls real easy. Nothing wrong with that. So if your backlash is too tight and the ring gear's on that side of the pinion, that means you got it so you don't affect your rolling drag. You want to back this one off 1 tooth and then tighten the other one up 1 tooth. Had to find that big honking tool I had. Okay, so 1 tooth, 1 complete tooth. So we're lined up on this one right here. This bearing lock is going to be the one that's lined up, so we'll go. Oh, come on. Right around in there. I'll go to the other side, tighten it up 1 tooth. This one here is lined up. Okay. Let's see what we got now. Hard to tell with all this. It kind of drags on this plastic shit they got on here. So it's hard to tell. It really is. You don't know if you're got backlash or you're rubbing on the plastic. Fucking plastic shit on here. Let me see. I wonder if it'd be better if you could measure it out here on the pinion, because then you're not relying on that plastic shit in there, you know what? I wonder if I can get it on the flat of that nut. Let me try that. Lula gear. I got the Lula Bell with me today. My daughter named her Kalua when we got her, and I just started naming her Lulu. Sometimes I call her Lulu Bell. Oh, okay, so let's climb underneath here. This seems to be a little bit better reading to me. So the specification is 6 to 14 thousandths. I'm like right at, I tried to get it on the flat of the nut. See, at least you can feel the backlash there. You can't feel the backlash because all that plastic drags on that thing. So that seems to me the rolling drag torque. I mean, how accurate is that? You know, with all that, you can hear that plastic dragging on that ring gear. I'm at 7. I don't know if I want to be right there on the low end of that spec. You know, as things swell up and get hotter, my thought is that it gets tighter. So I wonder if I'd back this one off 1 more tooth and tighten this one up 1 more tooth. I think I will, then I'll check it again. So I did 1 tooth. So I backed this one off 1, tighten that one up to keep my rolling drag where it is. Now I'm at, changed it about 2 thousandths. I was at 7, now I'm at 9. I might go one more. I don't know. So the spec is 14, 6 to 14. So that's probably all right. $10 would be just perfect. 10 would put us right in the middle of the specification, but I know that if I change, every time I change it, it changes at 2,000. So I'll probably leave it right where it's at. We'll leave it there at 9,000s, because I know if I go one more, I'll be at 11. So I'll be closer on the high end of the spec. So I'm closer to the low end of the spec here, so I'm screwed if I do, screwed if I don't. So I guess we'll call that good. Sometimes I get a little bit too, sometimes OCD about backlash settings and stuff like that, but I'll show you what I'm talking about down here on. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This, you'll hear it when I'm turning the pinion shaft. You can hear that, and it did this before I took it apart too. I turned all this stuff before I tore this rear end out, and it did the same thing. Listen to all that. I mean, how the hell are you ever going to get a proper roll and drag torque and all that with all that shit all over it? And I just really wonder, I mean, would the rear end not work with that stuff in there? I mean, they use them for 100 years without a bunch of plastic shit wrapped around them, and they seem to be just fine, but all of a sudden we've got to have plastic wrapped around our ring gear. So some new woke millennial engineer designed this pile of shit. Okay, so I gotta get this oil tube back in here now.